Hi, everyone. Today we have a very special bonus episode brought to you from live on stage at the first ever Televerse. It was an event put on in downtown Los Angeles by the Television Academy. It brought together TV professionals, Emmy nominees, and all of the fans to make it possible. I was on stage as a moderator, but I was also very much a fan for this conversation with the Traitors host, Alan Cumming. He won the Emmy last year for Best Reality Host. He's nominated again this year. He's also a producer on The Traitors, which is my favorite reality show, period. I talked to him about what it took to build the character that he plays on the show. Yes, it's definitely a character. He does not actually own that Scottish castle. And how that character and his costumes have evolved over the years. He dropped a few tiny hints about what's to come in season 4, which filmed earlier this summer, and also gave me a peek behind the scenes of just what's going on set when he's right there watching all this action unfold. If you're a Prestige Junkie After Party paid subscriber, there is an even bigger treat for you. You can see the full video of my conversation, not just with Alan, but the panel that came right before it, where I talked to an all-star lineup of Traitors alums. Bob the Drag Queen, Boston Rob Mariano, Season 1 winner Suri Fields, Kate Chastain, Parvati Shallow, and Phaedra Parks. Yes, all of them were Traitors on the show, and yes, we get into it. And yes, Boston Rob and Bob the Drag Queen are having a really good time feuding with each other still. Thank you so much to Peacock for making all of this possible. And now let's hear tales of treachery and deceit from inside the Traitors. Sorry to rush you. So I just got to talk to all of these wonderful Traitors, and we talked about you at the end of the conversation. You might have heard part of it.
I didn't.
And well, what Phaedra said...
Hope they were nice.
...is she thinks that she described you as playing the game too, that you're part of it, that you're part of the mix. And I wonder what that means for you. You're not a contestant. You kind of have to be back there talking to the producers. We can talk about that. But what does playing the game mean for you when you're hosting the Traitors?
I think it means I'm sort of in a role. I'm a character that's, like the castle, like the missions. I am a sort of part of the structure of it. And so for me, it's definitely playing a character. I'm hosting the show, of course. I'm very much hosting I'm like the puppet master of it. But I stay in character the whole time. And it's funny when I meet them in situations like this. It's like I'm meeting them for the first time. I really feel like they don't, and they have never seen me like me. And
you're less intimidating when they see you.
Oh, I'm so scary. I'm so scared. I'm like really, castle bitch. I just don't. And there's lots of things when, I'm like, players, please be quiet. Have some decorum. This is the round table. It's a sacred place. Like that. And you can see they're really scared of me.
Yeah, that's what they said, is that you're stern. There's like a castle dad kind of
stern
thing.
Daddy. Yeah.
Well, do you feel like that character has evolved and changed? I know you just shot a new season, which we can't talk about, but do you feel like Castle Daddy has been able to grow over the years?
Yes, I can hear my friend Christopher laughing there. Yes, Castle Daddy has developed. I mean, certainly his style has got more outland. I mean, what I thought was hilarious was in this one, the one we're talking about, when it starts, I come on a horse, and there's all these people with, masks and things, hundreds of them.
Being poor Rob, who's,
Including Rob, that's right. And I say, followers! I have followers now. Am I a cult leader? And then in this new one, I've got monks.
Ooh.
For some reason, I've got a religious sect. So all these sort of things, it's like that's what happens, I think, in TV in America. Like on The Good Wife, one year I was a political advisor. The next, I was a lawyer. Somehow I'd picked up a law degree in the hiatus.
The mythology just grows and grows as it goes along.
Yeah.
I mean, as an actor, does this role let you do something that you couldn't do otherwise? I mean, it's immersive in some way, I guess. Like, is it, having played so many different roles, what does this one do that none of the other ones did?
Well, it's sort of a combination of all the things that I really like and in my job. I'm an actor, and I love getting into a character, and I also love playing characters that are very removed from me. I never really play anyone who's remotely like me, actually, which I like. And also, I've done a lot of, I do sort of comedy and sort of improvisation, and I do concerts. I'm holding an imaginary microphone. And I've got a microphone in my hand. I do concerts, and so and tell stories and sing and things. I don't sing in The Traitors, but I have to really that thing of thinking on your feet, because you're getting things down your ear and you're dealing with people in a situation, and you have to be really nimble. So it's like that. It's got sort of, great, big, huge set pieces, speeches. And I'm a writer as well, so I get to help write what I say. So it really is this sort of fusion or conflation of all the things I really love doing.
It's crazy that you haven't sung on the Traitors. How has that not happened yet?
I know. I think a little seed might have been planted.
Exactly.
That's maybe how we start the new one, next one.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about, having a earpiece in there, and what everyone says is on the show is that it's so immersive that you're not breaking the illusion, you're not talking to the producers, but you are, and so you have to be in your role and be keeping an eye on the contestants, and then have the producers say something like whoever didn't come down to breakfast. So how does that part of it work? When they're all at the breakfast table and you're waiting to come in and throw someone's photo on the ground, are you back seeing everything on the screen? Getting the illusion broken for you, even though the contestants are so in it.
Well, it's a bit Truman showy, because in the room where I get ready, there's a big screen with all the different camera feeds. So when I'm getting ready in the morning and they're going into breakfast, I'm watching them and listening to them. And what I say in that little moment when I go in is always sort of rewritten according to who's been murdered.
Yeah.
And
when do you find out who's been murdered?
Well, because after the round table, I go home usually. Sometimes I've got to stay in if I have to go into the turret. I hate those nights.
Yeah, everyone says it. You guys are up like all night in the turret.
I think it's a really good thing now. You spot the traitors by how tired they are, because they have to stay hours later than everybody else.
Wow.
So they're slapping on that touche éclat to get their eyes not so baggy. But I go home usually after the round table, and then they go to the turret and plot away. And so Sam, the producer, Sam Rhys-Jones, he always texts me. Just goes R.I.P. and then a name. That's all I get a text.
Is there an emoji like a skull or a tombstone?
Sometimes there's reactions. If it's someone that we're glad to see the back of, or someone we're not so glad to see the back of. But he always does that. And so it's almost like I can't go to bed until I know who it is. So yeah, and then so the next morning it's sort of altered because of them. But it's also, there's the hilarious things you hear, things like, don't go in yet, Britney's crying. Things like that. I'll hear that. I'm about to go in and go, all right. Lots of hilarious little, I hear this control room. Yeah. Which is a big room. It's a bit like NASA. It's got all these screens and everything. And you can hear the stress and you hear the panic and things like, there was one, I've got a little recording I did when I said, don't cut away, she's about to cry. That was one of the other things I heard.
Now you're in real reality TV. Yes. Everyone's crying.
So hilarious.
Well, I imagine it's similar with some of these challenges. You're standing outside the cabin and half of them are in the castle or something like that, and you're getting all sides of it. Do you have are there any favorite challenges for you to kind of be an observer on the sidelines of? Because it feels like you've gotten more involved as the show has gone on, kind of commenting on the action.
Yes.
Can.
I mean, some of them I'm kind of commenting on, I'm not really there. That's kind of hard. Yeah. I've got to do it in a sort of, they're sort of explaining to me they're far away, and I'm just pretending to be looking at them, and I can't see them. I actually like it much more when I'm there. But I like ones when, I really do enjoy the ones, I find it hilarious, this show. This is the best job ever, because I really love it. It's such a great, the production values are great. Everyone is at the top of their game who does it, who makes it. And I also just get to be this sort of observer of this really sort of crazy psychological experiment. And it is also, I laugh and laugh and laugh so much in it. And then in a way, they've actually put me laughing into the show more, because they sort of tried to hide it before the first series. But there's nothing funnier to me than a housewife getting wet. Honestly, like a housewife falling into a loch off a pontoon. I'm like, see you tomorrow. It's just tremendous. I think the critter challenge this past season, where everyone had their hands in the box, like there was people were losing their minds. But I think a lot of people were laughing. But it does bring a whole new thing to it. It's just like, so when you see people kind of in those out of their comfort zones, and then I'm also really always amazed by like the bit when they got up on that helicopter and hung off a helicopter. I thought they're never going to do that. Those girls are never going to do that. And they just did it. Yeah. Because they're sort of in a trance almost. You know, they're brainwashed.
By you.
By me, in my cult, yes.
Well, that is part of the power. This is what Bob said when he was out here, is that they'll be like joking around off camera and you'd be like, excuse me, someone's being murdered tonight. And it's powerful.
I know. I say things like that. I say, like, there's been a death here. It's so ridiculous. But that's what's so funny about it. Like, they see them going, I'm just really worried about being murdered. Like that. You think, you're not really going to get murdered. But they, you know, especially as it goes on, and it's funny now, having done it 4 times, you see this way that about 6, 7 episodes in, they have no grasp of reality whatsoever. They're really
tired. No one's
they're
getting
exhausted.
any sleep.
That's right. They're you know, they're just sort of, they don't have their phones. They're in this bubble. And that's when they start to make really bad decisions.
And great television.
And great TV, yes.
Well, have they changed their expectations as the show has gone on? You know, we had Suri out here. She won that first season that had regular people on it. That was an interesting balance. And now you've got people who've professionally been on TV a lot of time, but in different ways. You know, like Phaedra's doing something different on TV than Rob is. So as the new groups come in and they've seen the Traitors before, does it change the dynamic?
Well, I think any show... It's like the first time Big Brother was on in Britain. It's kind of different to your Big Brother. It's not so. It's much more just an observational thing. There's not sort of such.
Not all the challenges.
Evil doings, no. But the first season of that was such an incredible sociological experiment, just to watch people in a goldfish bowl. And then, of course, as the seasons go on, people understand not only what to do, but also what could possibly come of their. You know, they become celebrities and they become sort of. There's a sort of people go into it for that reason. So in the same way with the Traitors, I think the first season was completely unknown to everybody. But then I really realized in these last couple of seasons that people have come thinking, I got this, I've got that. And actually you think, you're dead. And I love that about it, that it's even if you think you've got the game and you've got some sort of formula to play it, it's such a game of chance as well.
Yeah.
And it is truly irrational, and I think that's why people like it.
Well, you were saying you and Sam have some people who get killed who you're rooting for more than others. Do you find yourself invested in like, do you have people you're rooting for, even if you would never necessarily tell them over the course of the game? Absolutely,
yes.
But you won't tell us who.
No, no, I couldn't possibly. But and there's people there's like, oh, my future ex-boyfriend, things like that. That's, we have little names for them, so we don't actually say their names. If we have to talk about them and they're nearby, we say things like that. So, yeah, absolutely. Of course, you get, like anything, you get sort of... And also you realize that people who are really good for the game, but not necessarily your favorite person.
Yeah.
So there's that as well. I mean, you have to sort of, with your producer hat on, you have to sort of realize, that, like, good TV, and that's not necessarily always the most pleasant.
Yeah, you've learned how to think like a reality TV producer.
I have become one of them. I've gone to the dark side, yes.
Well, we also have news about the future of the Traitors to break.
Yes.
And I think we get to play a clip first, and then we get to talk about what this very exciting news is. We're breaking news right now, so take a look. This is so exciting.
Yes.
I think probably a lot of people in this room have dreamed of this, of the chance to win. Because I wasn't sure it was ever going to happen. Because after the first season of having regular people, it's been so successful with reality TV stars. So what is this going to be like?
Well, I don't know. But I'm excited. I just think it's so hilarious. Like, we were talking about, now we're going to do a real people one and a reality people one. Do you know what I mean?
Reality people are real people too, just different.
Somewhat. But it's just this sort of a funny idea that, I think that it's interesting because the British one, which shoots right before us or after us, they've always had real people. And now they've just done a celebrity one. So they're swapping, they're going the opposite way. And so, I think it's interesting, like how, I think people will, the people we have on the show now, the celebrities, they come with their shtick. They understand television and performance and how to, they're just more self-aware about those things. But I think, it will be lovely to have real people. I think it'll be more, in a way, we'll be more invested. And also, frankly, we'll probably, the money will mean more to them than to the people who, you can tell that some of these people are like, how much? I don't know, they're not as invested in the jackpot part of it. So I think that will change it as well. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a hoot.
Do you think you have to go easier on them? Like, you're talking about them losing sense of reality, and these people who've never been on TV before,
True.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't really thought about it.
They'll be more afraid of Castle Daddy than these reality
It just sort of
stars.
happened this week that they was going to announce it, so I've
Yeah.
not really had time to process it. But we shoot it in the spring, so I've got a while to.
So you'll have two Traitors seasons
Yeah.
to do more or less back to back next year.
No, the one in the spring and one
Okay.
in the fall.
They're going to be so cold.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
It's going to be so cold
Spring,
in Scotland.
it's like the second one's in October. I'm like, Scotland in October.
Parvati was just talking about how cold she was. So
Everyone's cold. I mean, even in the height of summer, it's
Yeah.
freezing at certain points of the day. You know what I mean? It just is. And when people come to Scotland and say, "Oh, I had such a lovely time. It was sunny every day," I went, "You didn't see the real Scotland. That's not Scotland." I think that's just part of it. You know, when you just have to pack for 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Every day.
I mean, everyone's got fantastic coats on the show,
Yes.
self-included. Well, I did want to ask, when we were talking about the character evolving over the seasons, it does feel like the looks have evolved as well, the costumes, and every time you show up, you're wearing something more incredible. So what's that evolution been like? And, are you stepping it up in season 4, I have to assume?
Yes, it's actually really a really fun part of it, and in a way, it's become such an integral part of the show, and its success is what Sam Spector, the costume designer's work is, and me, getting to wear these insane outfits. It's become a real part of the thing, and it didn't start that way. We just kind of made it up, and it's not sort of written in the script. You just do it, and you have an idea and then go with it. And I think it's been really lovely to think that the things that have really worked well with the show, that worked best, are all about being bold and going for it. And the more sort of theatrical and the more sort of intense it is, and the more crazy my outfits are, and the more austere I am, and the more it creates the atmosphere that makes the show work. Mm-hmm. So the outfits. I mean, I think it's quite good that we're going to do the real people one, because in a funny way, I feel we can sort of need to sort of reboot. Otherwise, next year I'll be wearing sort of the Empire State Building or something. I don't know. I practically am in that little clip there, but
Yeah, the crown on
yes.
there is pretty impressive.
But I think it'll be nice to sort of have a breath, and because the season we've just shot, I just wish I could tell you, but it's just haywire.
Do you have a favorite look that you can tell us about? Can you even remember past the haywire ones you just wore?
I think my favorite one, and it's partly because it's the theatricality of the whole thing, was the funeral procession in season 2 when I've got a big huge veil. I love a veil, and I love a cloak. I've got loads of cloaks in this new season. I love just the swish of a cloak as you go around a corner. And then the wedding one, when everyone's putting their hands in the thing, I'm wearing a wedding dress.
Yeah.
And I actually think, in a funny sort of way, it's amazing that I am being so sort of gender fluid in my dress and sort of almost, non-binary. I just end up, I've got a wedding dress on now. And I really love that's part of the show's success, is a middle-aged man kind of, fucking with your ideas about gender.
Yeah. And a
You're
huge
welcome,
hit
America.
TV show also.
Yes.
I mean, the extent to which the Traitors is a hit, you sign on to this, you hope that it's successful, but presumably you cannot imagine how long you're going to be doing it, how many times you're going to be welcoming people into your castle. So what's that been like for you, kind of realizing there's presumably millions of people who had never seen your work before and now know you as Castle Daddy on the Traitors?
It's nuts. It's completely nuts. It's so not at all. I mean, I feel like it's kind of par for the course, though, as well. It's been nuts and totally unusual and ridiculous. But also it's made me realize that all my life has been a bit like I do left field things and I just make a weird decision, and it's usually gone pretty well. And this is another one. I just sort of said to this, I'm a big sort of posh Shakespearean actor in another life, and here I am being asked to do a competition reality show, and a lot of posh Shakespearean actors would say no. But I've always, I can remember being really young, and I did a stand-up comedy thing with my friend, and I was at the Royal Shakespeare Company at the same time, and I've always done that, and people were a bit like, "What are you doing? What?" And can't quite place you. And I've always just sort of done what I wanted, and what I have eclectic tastes.
Yeah.
In a funny sort of way, the Traitors has taught me, or reminded me, that this is a good way to be open to new experiences and to things that you don't necessarily know anything about. Like, I had zero knowledge of reality shows.
That's fascinating.
Zero. I'd never, like the first season, I had no idea of any of the people. And a lot of this time I knew 8 of them.
Okay.
In number 4.
Okay.
So
you don't go watch their shows or do research or try
who
to
has the
figure that-
time? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, the Housewives, like, that is hours.
I actually watched some of the Housewives on the plane this morning.
Oh, good.
Yeah. The which one was it? The Atlanta or something. But I don't. I really I go a couple of days early and just swat up on them. I have notes, briefing notes. And I, do a lot. It's sort of like I'm stalking them.
Yeah.
I just find out all this information about them and cram it. So yeah, I really do research them. But no, I don't watch the shows. I mean, and it's quite funny. Like now, I feel really proud of myself. If I'm going away somewhere and there's a television on, and I go, oh, that's Kate. She's from Below Deck. And everyone's like, yeah, we know it, and we watched it for 10 years or something. So I don't know. It's just I don't actually watch that much TV at all, actually.
So we're not going to ask you what your favorite Emmy-nominated shows are because you haven't watched any of them.
Well, actually, funny, today I could say this because he was on the plane with me. Tillman from Severance.
Yeah.
He's so nice. And I was on the plane with him, and then when I came off, he was going to meet his mum. So cute. He's going to meet his mum so she can shop for a dress because she's his date to the Emmys.
Oh my God.
So cute. I know. And then I walked to the baggage thing. And he was on telly at the bag. He was on the little screen at the baggage thing. I took a photo and sent it to him. So Severance.
So you met him for the first time on the plane and you exchanged numbers? Like that's the way, that's the...
No, we met at the BAFTAs.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it's so ridiculous, celebrity sort of thing. But we met at the BAFTAs and we bonded over Tom Cruise, actually.
Oh, right, because he worked on Mission Impossible. Of course.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, what are you going to wear to the Emmys? What are we allowed to know?
Well, I'm going to. It's great this year because I'm shooting a thing in Britain, a new series, a drama, and they changed the. So one of my awards is at the Creative Emmys,
right,
and the other one's at the Prime Time.
Yeah.
And they've changed my award to the Sunday night, and I was going to be able to come on the Saturday, and then they said it's a Sunday night, so I couldn't go. They'd give me the Friday off. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I met with the director of this thing last week. I told him this, and he went, Alan, you've got to go. You shouldn't miss these things in life. You've got, because I wasn't able to go last year. I went, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, I'll get you. So I'm now able to go to both.
Good.
And so I've got a sort of linking. Sam Spector we've got a sort of linking thing between the two. So watch out. Yeah, it's a sort of a.
So we've got the full Traitors costume design department on the.
Yes, Sam's styling me for that, and I've got also doing that thing where I have a look on the red carpet and then I change.
Oh, I love that.
And why not?
I mean, I feel like you've always been a fashionable person, but it does seem like the Traitors has really brought out a whole part of that for you. It is,
yes, and it's been. I mean, but in a way, I'm glad that. Yeah, I like wearing clothes, and people like dressing me up. I think that's I am feel a bit like a little dolly sometimes that people. But I quite like it too, and. But what I really like is that this is very much costume based. As I'm wearing these are costumes, and these are things that my character is wearing and so they really help me in the character. The work that Sam does makes it easy to do what I do. So I really like that. But I actually quite enjoy fashion when it's fun.
Yeah.
And not just all sort of stupid and sort of nobody smiling. But it has made it like hard, if I just want to go to the coffee shop in my sweatpants and my flip-flops.
And people expect you to have a cape.
People actually say they're disappointed. People say, I'm kind of disappointed in what you're wearing. I'm like, all right.
Tell them to mind their business.
Right. I know. Luckily, I'm quite busy and don't go to the coffee shop that often, but yeah.
Keep your flip-flops.
Actually, I think it's easier in the winter because I've got a lot of great coats thanks to the Traitors. So I can pop a really snappy kind of coat on, or a cape.
Mm-hmm. That's, wardrobe of capes now.
Yeah.
As we run out of time, for these lovely people, we've talked a little bit about season 4. We can't say a lot. Do you want to give them one word of what season 4 might mean for all of these people, or?
Carnage.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for being here. That does it for this special bonus episode. We'll have another one coming on Saturday as Emmy voting wraps up. And as always, you can see the video of this at Prestige Junkie After Party. For just $5 a month, become a paid subscriber. There's a lot of bonus stuff there to see. This podcast is edited by Brett Fuchs and produced by Brett Fuchs and me. Our theme music is by Dave Gonzalez. You can subscribe to the Prestige Junkie newsletter at theankler.com and to this podcast at Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back on Saturday with another new episode. See you then.